or you can call 0240 705 755. Well, thank you very much for staying tuned to Radio Gold 90.5 FM. It's the Gold Morning Conversation. Our guest in studio, like I said, Dr. Sofo Tanko Rashid, computer. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And once again, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. Before we even come to your new assignment at GIFEC, it looks like there's an assignment that you still haven't completed.
Very well.
Because it looks like you're still working.
Yes.
As Deputy Director, Elections and IT of the National
Very well, yes.
Okay. But first, I'm interested in my colleague's question. How did you come by the name computer?
Okay, long story short. At my teen, when I was in school, especially secondary school, those days, sciences, maths, there were two areas that nobody could cross my path.
Okay.
Yes, especially when it comes to mathematics.
Oh, maths.
Maths.
Okay.
I'll answer maths question with the speed of light.
Okay.
And then, in fact, we were being handled by these VSO. We used to have this voluntary service overseas from UK.
Okay.
And they came all the way to our village to teach. That time, in a rural area like that. And a young man could answer maths question without blinking an eye. Okay. And I could listen and understand their accent, these white ladies and all that. So the lady used to call me, this is a computer brain, computer.
Oh, okay.
And all of it didn't even understand what computer was all about.
At the time, you had no idea
what it was. But that's how she used to describe me. I mean, the speed at which I answered math questions and then clear everything. And sometimes I used to be her PA.
Okay.
That is, she would teach, my colleagues would not understand. She would ask me to come and explain to them. So that's how the whole thing started.
Oh, I see.
And then he has to take over my name. And in fact, I should have been a medical doctor or some serious government statistician and all that. But I abandoned it and went straight to public administration, governance and all that, because my passion was in politics. So that's how come I didn't go to.
So your strength is actually mathematics?
Mathematics and sciences. That's why my strength is. You put me there, but because now I'm aging, and if you put me there, you get to know it. So people shouldn't be surprised the way I was chasing Jean Mensa and all that in terms of figures and all that. Okay. That's my baby. Figures, mathematics.
But you ended up in public administration.
That is it, because of my passion in politics. I mean, and in arts. So that's how it is.
And I wonder why you would leave what you know was clearly your strength and walk into what about politics attracted you?
It's a passion. I mean, it's a passion that one picks and then you go straight into it. I mean, even if you take my first degree has nothing to do with maths and sciences. Okay. And, I mean, I didn't even go to do anything about politics. I was very much, you see, I have two passions. Okay. Arts. Okay. Like, those days I can look at you and draw you as if a cameraman. That's my passion. Okay. Yes, I draw and paint. I'm a graphic designer. Okay. Yes. But along the line, because of public administration, I has to branch to do public administration masters and then pursue it up to PhD level, as well as criminal justice. So these are my passions. But in terms of figures and all this, if you ask my colleagues, my mates, they will tell you, this gentleman, don't joke with him when it comes to figures, mathematics. Yes.
So at what point did politics then come into, because you said you developed a passion for politics?
Yes, in the early 90s. I mean, the early 90s, as soon as we launched into this democratic era, we were with the DLYLG, the Democratic Youth League of Ghana. It was a wing of the PNDC, the youth wing of that also. So that's where we started from, were the young pioneers of those areas from the cadets from. So when we started the 92 thing, we were very much vibrant with the Eagle Forum and all that until the NDC was formed. So from there, I've been there and all that, but very active around 94, 95, when I took up the business of being an election official for the NDC from my constituency, Bimbila constituency. Yes, in fact, 96, I was a counting agent for Dr. Ibn Chambers. So I've been an figures matter from 1996 as election officer for the party all the way to this. I've not stopped.
1996.
Yes.
Since then,
I've not stopped.
You've been involved in elections
throughout. I was counting agent for that election in 1996. Followed it up in 2000, and we beat the MPP in the constituency back. We won it, although we lost the general election, but we won back the seat through my initiative as an election officer for the party in the constituency. And followed it up to the region. When I was in Winneba, schooling at the University of Education, I was then there. We used to have propaganda secretary for TAIN, for the whole TAIN in Central Region. Yes, we were the people who went and voted first Haruna Idrisu, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, as the youth organizer of the NDC at Pram Pram. That day, the thing we did over the only God knows. He and the Agbemenule, there was one gentleman. It was a hot contest. Yeah. Yes, at Pram Pram. Iti Mensa camped all of us, but we said no way. There was no way we were going to deal with them. And so we've been doing this election thing since then, up till now. I have not stopped. I have not had a break. Since 96.
So from constituency to region,
to national and all that. So I've seen it all in all the electoral circles that we've been. I've participated in all these things. That is why I used to tell them that, look, you guys, you don't know what you are doing. This is how we used to do it previously. This is how we're doing it. This is how we did it and all that. In fact, I'm trying to put a book together on this things. And then we've been there.
On lessons from elections.
Yes, from elections over the period. Seen it. Very, very interesting. So sometimes when this current electoral commission are doing something, I just look at them and laugh, as if this is the first time we are doing elections.
I see.
They come and be telling some cock and bull story. I'll be looking at them and laughing. We've seen it all.
Do you think, because you've been part of this particular elections nationally,
yes,
but going to elections from 96 to now, are we on the decline in terms of the organization, or we are getting better? Are we improving or we are getting worse?
Well, we were improving until 2017, 2018, when these people came in and started their own tricks, trying to rewind the whole electoral system and then processes. Sometimes you ask yourself as if they only brought the democracy into Ghana, because the way they were doing their things, and it looks so funny, very, very funny. Because you see, the IPAC platform was a very good platform trying to resolve all problems concerning electoral disputes and issues before it even comes out. And that's how Afarajan survived it all along with other administration. He handed over from Gerolis to Kufuor, from Kufuor to Professor Mills, and then to this thing, John Dramani Mahama, before he retired honorably. Because he always make sure that the two parties will come on the table, Jojo, and then iron out their differences and all that. But these people, when they came in, it was some Rambo style. They were just using some buga things. And that's why they had to provide military to guide them all along, because they knew that what they were doing was not the correct thing. Afarajan never had, hardly you see Afarajan move with anywhere policeman. The man was always puffing his cigar, and then he was moving from polling station to polling registration centers. He will be engaging people at the centers because he has nothing to fear. He has nothing. He will tell you, go and get your people right, train your people. If you lose, that's your cup of tea. You don't come and worry me. So hardly we attack them. We always will talk plenty, but you know, these people, they will do the thing rightly and allow you. If you go and lose, that's your trouble. But these people, they knew what they were doing.
What did you think they were trying to do?
To rig the election, of course. They succeeded in 2020.
They succeeded in
2020. Rigged the election. It was a massive rigging.
How?
My brother, I see.
Because they talk about 500,000 votes difference.
Let me tell you. Do you know that this year they wanted to add the same 500,000? We stopped them. Those ballot papers they sent through the initiative of my boss, Omani Boama. Do you know the 500,000 fake ballot papers which could not enter? It was a strategy. You saw them, they got 1.3 million in Ashanti. Check their figures in 2020. They got 1.7. They got 1.7 million in Ashanti 2020. So their mathematics was that if we are able to add this 500,000 again to the existing normal figure, we have 1.3 and get 1.8, Ghanaians will not complain because we got 1.7 in 2020. So that was their plan. That was their game plan by sending those 500,000. They have always been adding look, between 500 to 600,000 fake ballots into their figures in Ashanti. That's what they have been doing. And rigging the election.
That's significant. You're talking about 500 to 600,000.
And that's what they have been doing. This year, didn't they get 1.3? Check their previous figures. Check their previous figures. If you don't put eagle eye on them, they will put it in there. And to go to look like they are just increasing by some 100,000 or some 50,000 or 600,000 within the period, because there was new registration exercise, new people came on board. So if they even increase from 1.7 to 1.8, there's no problem. Are you getting it? That was their calculation. So when you went to me and Co were making noise that there are 1 million ways of winning election, they knew what they were doing. And the figures support that. If you look at the 2020 election, there were polling stations, almost 4,000 of them. That John Mama never got 50 votes in each of those polling stations. Narado was getting 700 votes, while John Mama is getting 10 votes. In another place, 3 votes. Another place, 2 votes, 5 votes. Meanwhile, we have branch executives, 9 branch executives, yet we couldn't even get 9 votes. We are getting 3, 2. Whilst they were getting 600, 700, 500. Do you describe this as proper voting?
But that's their stronghold.
There's nothing strong about these people. They were fake votes. Fake.
But why? Because if you go to the Volta region, for example, you see virtually the same trend.
They don't hardly they get anything below 20 or 50 votes in Volta region. Okay, our people over there are right thinking and people who understand elections and all that. Yes, I know Ashanti is their stronghold, all right. But you see, you don't go there and do this kind of vote and allow your people to vote and vote for you and give me what I also deserve. But you don't sidestep your voters and go and starve. You see, starving, they will starve the ballot boxes and come and declare it by 5. You think that these people are right to vote. They have not voted. There's nothing voting over there. They just make sure that the people over there are compromised. Crooked electoral officers are put at that place. And then they will declare the results and sign for us.
So that's what they're doing. Even in Ashanti, the MP is not battling for votes.
No, they are not. They are just rigging. Complete rigging. I'm saying that from 1.7, they came down to 1.3. Where is the difference? That's the question you should be asking them. When they come and tell you that.
They attribute it to apathy.
There was no apathy.
That the people did not turn up.
The thing is not apathy. I'm just showing you. Look, when we went to Kumawu by elections, you know, leadership didn't want to go because you know that if we go, then we said no, we just lost election 2020, and we strongly believe these guys rigged the election. Okay. Let's go and test them and see whether they will bring out the same strategy they use with the electoral commission. Lo and behold, you see, a leopard cannot change its colors. Leopards, they can. It's spots, they can't change. They brought the same thing.
In Kumawu.
In Kumawu.
They are stronghold.
They are stronghold.
Okay.
The same modus operandi they use for the 2020 election, they brought it there. The first day we caught them. Fake pink sheets. They brought fake pink sheets. Fake in the sense that they removed vital ingredients in the pink sheet that can lead to ballot accounting when the voting ends. They excluded it from the pink sheet. That was what they used for the 2020. Okay. So you could not account for the ballot very well. Because if people are verifying, the records of the verification are not stated in the pink sheet, how do you account for it? How do you know that this number of people came to vote? There's no verification on that thing. So if they put 500 or 600 votes in the ballot boxes, how can you go in to check it? Because on the face of the pink sheets, there's no verification on it.
So you're not able to tell the number of people.
The number of people who came to vote and everything. That was a smart way of rigging election.
Okay.
And they do this. Commonwealth people will not understand it. They won't see it. Because they will see people have killed, they have voted, and then they have signed pictures. But they have rigged the election ahead before even voting. So they brought it. We say over our dead body. It won't happen. By the time we arrived, they were having about 71 or so polling stations. They had filled almost 65 or so ballot boxes with these fake things. You know, we have what we call distribution of material before election. They had put all these things in the ballot boxes, waiting for the following day to be used for election. We said over our dead body, they should remove them. You should remove each of them. We're not going to accept it. came strongly with the CI and said, this is what they CI. We told the police, if you try this nonsense, tomorrow they will contain us here. They had to call their people, they talk plain, they will say, no, they must replace it. Otherwise, we're not going to accept it. And they changed. They brought the right one. My brother, then on the D-Day, we brought our best of the best as agents. Lawyers were there and all these people.
In Kumawu, we
knew, but want to see these people, test them. So the winning of this 2024 election started from Kumawu.
Okay.
We knew what we were doing. We tested them and we saw all their rigging tricks. All polling stations, NDC got 3 votes. There were about almost 40 or so polling stations. We never crossed 10 votes.
Okay.
The Kumawu by-election, do you know our least votes? Our least votes was 18. 18. The rest of the polling stations were clocking 50, 60, 70, 80. One place we got 100. But in 2020, we got single numbers in those areas.
Oh, okay.
So that tells you that something happened because election just held.
But by that time, were the people not already dissolution?
How can they dissolution election that you just won election 2020? Then there's a by-election. Then you go there, people who voted for you massively in one polling station will now and gave us single number. Now will turn and give us 100 votes in that polling stations. What has happened? What remarkable has happened? This tells you that the guys were just rigging. Those elections were no good election in 2020. But because our eagle eye was on them, they couldn't do that thing they wanted to do. They brought all their people as presiding officers and other things, but yet they couldn't do anything. Eagle eye on them. Boot for boot. So we got the true reflection and we say, oh, it's true. Now we are going to Asinov. We'll see. That's how we beat them hands down in Asinov. Completely. Completely. Tells you Ghanaians don't just like these people. They rig in connival with crooked electoral officers. Rig the election. You vote for NDC, they will change the results and give it to NPP. So that's how we prepare ourselves. So since Asinov, when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama always go on campaign platform and say we are winning this election, inshallah, we will police the election. We knew what we were doing.
Okay.
we knew what we were doing. Because all along, we knew that these guys, Ghanaians don't like them. They are always forcing themselves on Ghana by rigging elections.
But there was one thing that I always talked about, because in Asin North, one constituency, we were able to carry the best of the best, put them in polling stations. So I was always wondering, now, where would you place people? And how do you ensure that you are not placing them somewhere and missing? So, for example, you're not prioritizing Asante over Volta. Did that come into mind that if you prioritize Asante over Bono, Ahafo, and all those areas, those are all areas where perhaps your eyes, you could be blinded, and those areas could be used for rigging. How did you manage to deploy the same thing you did in Asin North across the country?
Yes, that's the strategy. That's what I'm saying. The Eagle Eye Group, led by Dr. Mani Boama. We had a very beautiful game plan, 3-pronged game plan that we're using. And we knew the first one we're using was going to work.
Okay.
That's why we activated body camera midday. Because it was perfectly working.
Okay.
If anything had happened, we were going to move to B.
Okay.
And the B, in fact, would have gotten 80%. A revolt. Because these people, they were so disorganized. The Electoral Commission was disorganized in the sense that all their rigging machinery, we had blocked it. We knew we were going to win massively on that day. Oh, we knew.
Over 1 million votes.
Oh, but all along, anytime you interview me on air, I'll tell you that we are going to beat them over 54%. If you play back the rest.
Yes.
I always say it.
Yes.
And people were doubting. Even at IPAC, I'll point to them and say that we are beating you people over 54%. They will laugh and say, under this current display, nobody can even get 52%. I say, you wait and see. If a blind man say you threw his stone, he knows what he's stepping on. Because we had planned and put strategies in place. Best of brains. Do you know that all our election officials wrote exams? Election director.
I heard about it. People were failing.
For the first time, Ghanaians don't know that our agents, our election directors for each constituency wrote exams, competitive exams.
And
yes,
you had election directors who have been doing that job for so long, We're failing those simple.
Some of them came and got 30% of 100.
An election director.
Yes, somebody had been an election director for 3 consecutive times. 2016, 2020, in fact, way back to even to 2012, came and wrote our exams and got 29 over 100. You expect us to put such a person back as our director of elections? No way. No way. That was a master stroke from Dr. Maniboama. Let's test them.
Okay.
Yes, we have people. This year, we are going to have directors of elections for each constituencies and regions. Let's open it and let people apply. There was an open application. Shortlisted. Come and sit. Exam papers. Printed. Examiners from Accra. Sent to all the regions. Competitive exams. You think we just won this election on silver platter? And we had full backing of functional executive of the party. And the full backing of the party is from the regions. Because we told them, we gave them the blueprint and told them, look, this is the surest way of beating MPP. If we are going to continue the way we used to do it, these people will rig the election again. They are going to rig. They are not going to win. Ghanaians don't like them. People are fed up with them. International community themselves are fed up with them. But you see, they can't come in and say, MPP, get out. Ghanaians must show it. So we have our intelligence that these people, international community, they just don't want them. They want them out. But they can't force them to do anything. So the only way is the ball was now in our court to do the job. And I always give glory to Omani Boama because he led the charge and look and convinced leadership that look, this is the surest way. They say, this exam thing you are bringing us. I say, look, the exam is not about writing a Greek, telling me forests or what and what. The exam is about elections.
Okay.
Everything about elections. Try your paper. And the questions will come, you see. Still questions. The examiner said didn't even know the questions until they reach there. Like why exam those is when we used to write exam, they will bring it in front of you, the students, and then show you the envelope, turn it upside down, nothing else, and then before they remove this, and then bring out the
that was what you did.
Oh yes. Oh, Asa, the thing I said, we have a long story to put that together in Ghanaians way, because we want to beat them in 2020. We have another plan, so we're hiding that one. You see, they did all this in both constituency and regional, and we're able to select the best. It solved our problem between candidates and their executive as to who is to select.
Okay.
Executive. That was another beautiful way of solving our own problem.
So you took it out of the hands.
The hands of them.
Okay.
So you cannot come and bring your own son or your own brother or your friend to be our director of election when you knew nothing about elections.
Okay.
Previously, that's what happened. That's how we're losing constituencies and other things because people just brought their own interests. I want to be a chairman next election, so I want this man to be our director of election. You go and lose the general election.
Okay.
Because the man doesn't know anything about election. He's sitting down there, they are rigging the election. But this, it didn't happen. They wrote exams. Those who...
So for the first time, the election directorate at the national level took control of deciding who represent them at the constituency.
At the constituency and region.
Okay.
Yes, that's what we did. Through competitive
well, people are not
exams.
offended. You know how politics works.
Offended. Go and show your grief on the paper. We want to win. We told them we have to win this election.
If an MP wants a particular person to
bring the person to write,
the person come
and write the exams.
Okay.
If the chairman wants a particular person, let him come and sit in the exams. The exams will resolve the matter. And the marking was too transparent. You are sitting there, we mark and show you your paper. This is your mark. If you have issues, raise it. They will give you the marking scheme. These are the answers. What you have raised, you are out. Fill completely. Oh yeah, step aside. No wahala. If after the end of the exams, if there was a tie, 2 people have passed over 70%. In fact, the pass mark was 70 over 100.
You have to do 70%. But these exams, the pass mark is always 50.
You think to get 57.7% is a yeoman's job? It's not a small thing. They have to get 70%. Ask them, they will tell you. Get below 70, you are out. This was very competitive. And we got the best of brains as constituency directors of elections. It solved problem, no difficulties. Only some few constituencies with challenges. We brought them to the national and made some of them to rewrite their exams again.
Okay.
And remark their scripts in front of senior party officers to resolve the matter. That's why you didn't hear any conflict over who become our regional directors and all these things. It was a master stroke. We didn't stop there. Even trainer of trainees who were going to train our party agents, they wrote exams. Professors. Those who were professors from universities, lecturers and all the accountants, we brought them to party office and made them to write exams. So if you think NDC just won the thing on silver platter, a professor who is a lecturer for several years came and wrote exam on elections. And those who failed, they agree that, look, this is not our field. Okay. We have been hearing election. No, this is how your election is organized in Ghana. This is the first time some of them were coming face to face with elections in Ghana. And they agreed. That was the joy I got. That, look, I was able to work with people like that. And they deferred to me and told me that, look, this one there, it's not my field. I'm not surprised I got 30 here. He said, Professor, you got 30. He said, look, this is not my field. You people, I now understand why we are losing elections like that in Ghana. NDC shouldn't have lost. Because he himself, with this knowledge, he has not taken time to study our electoral system.
Because there are people who think that being elected and having high academic qualifications qualify them to do their job.
I say, no, it's a different ball game.
Okay.
It's a different ball game. We'll swindle you. That's our work. I'm trained in election engineering and machinations. Do these things.
Okay.
It's easy. How like rigging election? How many minutes? There are 6 methods. We know all these methods. That's how I was chasing them left and right. Easy, because they brought all the strategy to rig the election, and we make sure that it won't happen. So we did all these things. There was a massive preparation towards that. Even the agents that we recruited, over 80,000, and each of them wrote exams. So you have to thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, through Omane Boama, the national chairman, Honorable Asidi Nketia, and then the general secretary, because they supported this initiative. Initially, we had resistance. This exam thing that you are bringing, when they saw the results coming out, then they said, we are now seeing the reality that this election is not the normal election we used to go. Okay. And they saw it, that we were exhibiting it publicly for people to see the behavior of this electoral commission, the preparation they were putting in place to rig the election for MPP. So when they were saying they would break the 8, they knew what they were doing. But they didn't know that there are people like Omane Boama and his Eagle Eye group who were very ready for them and well prepared. And people were ready to sacrifice their academic distance and other things, their public life, to do this job. And it paid. It paid. It paid. Look, I always, you see, Emma Hardcaster. She was one of our trainers.
I see.
She was one of our trainers. CJ, the former CJ.
Yeah. AG.
The former AG. The former AG.
Marietta Bro.
These were our trainers who came and wrote exams.
Oh, they themselves wrote
exams? They wrote exams. I mean, these people I'm mentioning to you, they all wrote exams. This high group of people. All our lawyers that you see, NDC, the high, like Basit Bamba. He sat in our class.
Prof now.
Prof wrote exams. Are you surprised? In fact, he scored 97 over 100. The man is a crack in the election matter. I'm not surprised he's always dealing with this election petition matter. I have all their distance. They were our trainers, wrote exams. So if people like that came and sat in the classroom to write exams and deployed into the rural areas. You see Bantama, after election, Bantama, they said there was jubilation. There was jubilation in Bantama. Yes. Although we didn't win that place, but there was massive jubilation. MFA Hardcaster was the lead in that constituency. We sent her 2 times to go and train the people there and deploy her back as a rep of the election directorate and a lawyer to that constituency on the election day.
She was there on election day.
On the feet. Once I was in the field, she was calling me and I was giving directive and we're firing missiles all over. And they brought down the rigging machinery of NPP in Bantama and up the votes of NDC. Over 10,000 NDC votes up across that time. That was why they were jubilating. That was the brain behind it. So people don't know what the directorate did behind the scene and people who led the charge in the field. Some of them, I sit down and look at them and say, they left the comfort of their home, send them to interior villages, go and train. Some of them were on motorbike. How they have videos and that? You will laugh at that. These are our ladies, being jeans, they put them on motorbike, community to train agents That the victory didn't come on silver platter. It was a well thought plan, strategy put together.
And it seems the objective of your plan was at least the NDC must get the votes that are due them. And the NPP must also get exactly
what due them.
Okay.
Our plan was that we are not going to rig the election. Nobody should also rig the election. Let Ghanaians decide who they want. Proper votes. 100 people have voted. That's 100. NDC, we have gotten 80. NPP, take your 20. That's what the Ghanaians say you should take. Don't go and overturn the whole thing and use soldiers to misbehave, and then they will now use our 180 for you and say, NDC, take this one. That was our strategy, and we succeeded in that.
But then what happened? Yes. Because now, how many seats are left outstanding now?
Oh, we are chasing about 7 now.
7?
Yes.
And of the 7, and I'll start from Ablekuma North.
Yes.
What's the status of Ablekuma North? What happened?
Ablekuma North, unless the Supreme Court decide, they've granted us leave to serve them using substituted service.
Okay.
Because they are fugitives. They are running away from the NPP candidates. You see them go and stand in Parliament and stand in the candidate house and talk as if wild dogs are barking at people. The law is looking for them. They are running away from the law. Meanwhile, they will stand somewhere and call on the EC to declare them. These are the group of people we are dealing. They don't respect the legal system of this country. We have filed a suit at the Supreme Court, a statutory trying to quash the decision of the High Court that allowed them to do that thing they did over there. Because the trial judge at the High Court ruled as if the matter before him was an election petition.
Okay.
It wasn't an election petition. It was a mandamus. The writ was asking the court to force the EC to carry out an exercise that they are refusing to carry out their own mandate. But the EC had carried out this exercise.
The EC had already done
they had already done that thing. Because it's about declaration, collation and declaration. And the person who is qualified to declare parliamentary election is a returning officer. If you check CI 127, it's very clear there. It is not the electoral commissioner or the commissioners there. It is the returning officer. So if the returning officer has done his job, declared somebody a winner, your duty as commissioner is to gazette same. Okay. If somebody is aggrieved with the declaration, he can now come with election petition proper at the High Court under Article 91 of the Constitution. Not the person should go and run behind the commissioners, and the commissioner will sit down and say that we are not going to recognize it because the declaration was not properly done. It doesn't lie in their mouth. They don't have that power.
So you think that what the MPP should have done is actually to file an election petition?
An election petition. Not to go and hide an amendment saying that the EC has refused to do collation and declare this, they must be forced to do that. They have already done that.
So the declaration was what?
The declaration was that the court asked that the EC should go and continue the collation of the constituencies, and they mentioned some certain polling station numbers. And I said, look, in an election, that's what I'm saying, that people, because we are not educating the public about elections, polling station resources can be nullified due to certain actions at the polling. For instance, if there are overvoting in a polling station, the law says they must nullify the votes. It will not be added to the tally. The people are supposed to vote, there are 500, and you come and vote 520. Where from the 20? That's clear overvoting. On the face of it, is that not true?
Yes.
So they will just nullify the votes. So when they are tallying the results at the collation center, that polling station will not be added. So if you have 20 polling stations and one has been nullified, they will declare the results using how many polling stations? 19. So you can't go and say, because one polling station was not added, they should go and do recollation. Have you found out whether that polling station there was overvoting? That's why it was not added. You have not found out that. So go and file a petition, and then the court will ask that let's find out the veracity of it. They will now bring the box with the pink sheet, open it, recount, and do all these things. But you don't just go and see the face of it and say so and so number of polling stations were not counted, and yet they declared result. Have you found out the reason why those polling stations were not added? Tema Central had 3.
Okay.
3 were not added.
3 polling
stations were not added. Okay. And they declared Our Lady winner. Yeah. Okay. Then you run and say because 3 polling stations were not added, you won't accept. Then the electoral commissioners, because they wanted at all costs to show up the numbers of MPP in parliament because of their disaster that has fallen on them, they quickly said, no, we are nullifying it. We won't accept until the 3 polling stations. Have you found out the reason why those 3 polling stations were nullified?
Okay.
Why the returning officer didn't add it? They were overvoting in some of them. So if they are overvoting, definitely they will nullify it. It won't be added. They will go ahead with the 3 polling stations. And it doesn't lie in the mouth of the court. That's why I've been saying that when people look at it and say, so and so number of polling stations were not added, and yet they declared, because you don't understand the electoral system. Overvoting can occur even up to 100 polling stations. They will nullify all of them. That is a fact. Yes, if you are a careless person and you think you can rig the election by padding up numbers plenty at the polling stations, and we have our eagle eye on them, and they are your strong, they will nullify them.
So you insisted that areas where you saw
saw problems with the polling stations, we're not going to add them. That's why we have 62 in Ablekuma North.
68?
Yes.
So what was the problem with those 62? Because
there were problems. There were problems with them. Some of them, the presiding officers couldn't come with it. Some, they were vandalized. The EC themselves didn't have. Who was supposed to have the original didn't have it. So when they put the tally together and they had challenges in getting these 62 areas and all that, they declared their one winner. It's accepted in the electoral law. If there are challenges in like I just explained, in a polling station, that polling station will be nullified. You can't force people to put bad results on and add it up to declare somebody. That's what the MPP are masters in. Manufacturing fake pin sheets and concocting figure on them. That's how they are masters in it.
But they say they have scanned copies of all the police stations.
That is why I'm saying that they are masters in it. At IPAC meeting, the last IPAC meeting before.
But how do you do a scanned copy? Is a copy of the original?
Where is the original? You say you have scanned copy. So where do you scan it from? Bring it. You say you don't have. So which one did you scan? Look, my brother, Sombo, I can design. I told you I have a background in graphics. Give me a laptop and Photoshop or Corel Draw, the one they used to add materials for mathematics. MPP, they are not serious with their electoral copies. Software we used in the 90s. That was what we're using in designing. Corel Draw, Corel 9, 11, 12, and all this. And I already heard them saying that they used it to add figures. How can you use Corel Draw figures? This is easy. Very crooked people. Now, I can design a pink sheet and put figures on it and come and show it to you and say, this is a scanned copy. Will you accept that? Will you accept it? And I'm telling you that I don't have the original, but I scanned it. I have this, the scanned copy. And then the EC will fall in such a trap. So when I say there's always a collusion between them and the MPP, people say I'm always hard on them. I'm not hard on them. Why will you fall in such a trap? Because in the last IPAC meeting, Evans was there. I was there. We all agreed. This Ablekuma North thing. 62 you don't have. They say they don't have. Easy told us, point blank, they don't have any of them.
Okay. The Electoral Commission?
The Electoral Commission.
Okay.
And we say, yes, we too had difficulties because of the vandalism and all that. We lost some of our distance. EC Evans told us, yes, they don't have it, but they have scanned copy. And we say, Master, stop your scan copy. We are not going to accept anything scanned copy. Our electoral laws are manual, and they are telling us that you must have your manual pink sheet handy so that we can compare with the original from the EC. You don't have. You are saying scan copy. I can also go and bring scan copies. I can sit behind my laptop and design it. So nobody's going to ask. Stop that thing. That was on Thursday. We're supposed to meet on Friday. But because of the court ruling on Saturday, we all defer and said after that, we'll meet the next Monday. Then quickly, this court, knowing what they were trying to do, you know what they did? They moved the matter, the ruling to 12 midday. You remember? They had planned it already. And quickly after ruling, Sunday, they said they were declaring results. They've run to their offices and started using scanned copies. And that is the crooked nature of these people I'm always saying, and Ghanaians don't see them. So we agreed on this. Nobody's going to use scanned copy. Yet, because we filed against the continual declaration, collation of this thing, after the ruling, these people quickly ran and said they were going to do it. Okay, let's declare it. After all, before they say Jack Monday, we have declared, we will gazette it. That is what they were trying. And they were using scanned copies. Unfortunately, on their part, some of our boys went and stormed there and stopped them. They managed to bring themselves together again and continue to use the scam copies of NPP. EC don't have even one pink sheet. They don't have. This Ablekuma. I challenge anybody who tells me EC has a pink sheet on it. They don't have. When they brought their own presiding officers, they saw some of the scam copies. They were running away from it. They said, this is not my signature. This is not a figure. I didn't write this. Their own people. And yet, EC was forcing to accept those things. Just trying to assuage the pain of the NPP. That's what they were just trying to do.
So, what will be the solution to Ablekuma?
The solution is in Supreme Court. We are there. We have gotten them now through substitution service. The next sitting, they will come. If they don't come, you see what has befallen Akotia. We will get them. All of them will be arrested for defiling court orders. They will be arrested. I told you this man, they will arrest him. The Akotia man. You see, they are still thinking we are in the era of FCs, 99 FCs and all this. They only go to court and the court ruled for them and all that. They think we are in the era. The judges themselves didn't like the thing they were doing. They were forcing them to do that kind of thing they were doing. They're asserting their independence now. That's why they asked that they should arrest that man. An injunction on you defy the injunction, went ahead to be sworn in as if they are law to themselves. This is what they are doing. I'm not done pray today. We are in court with him again. If he doesn't come, another bench warrant will issue for him. I said we'll chase these people one by one. We'll make sure that we'll remove them from the August house using the legal process. Because these are illegal guys.
You think you won the Nsama Dwajisi?
Yes. We won that in. They use the same modus operandi they used in 2020. Enforce themselves. You remember when we came to Tesano police station? I was on them that midnight. Look, the same fake pink sheet they brought on that day to declare another prayer. When we came there and look at the pink sheet, 5 of them already we saw that. We just told you, look, you people, you are not even smart thieves. Look at what you have got. Look at this. These are photocopy ones. They are not even correct. And look at the figures. Your figures are even more than the registered voters in the constituency. Look at what you are doing. So they say, well, let's flag this, flag this. That's what they started doing. That let's flag this, and continue. I say, we won't continue in it. We won't continue. This thing will not continue.
By the end, he was declared.
Tesano, they couldn't. You know, we stopped them. We stopped them, and the following day, we came back. They wanted to do it. We said, no way. We managed to injunct the whole process. And that's why people didn't understand when they saw us shouting on top of our voice on that day, because we wanted the law. The bailiff came, do you know that the police had banter with them on that day, especially the CID boss that day. Later she has to apologize. I told her, you are behaving like a woman organizer of MPP. You are a CID. A bailiff will come. You don't want the bailiff to serve the service on another prayer. They managed to get another prayer out from the place. Interesting, the police, about 5 or 6 of them were preventing the bailiff, holding him not to serve the thing. Can you imagine? This was the thing they did all this in, just trying to, yes, at that place.
Preventing a bailiff from doing
bailiff on that day. The footages are there. Your cameras are people, if you go and look at it, they will tell you what was going on at that place. I told them. And then later on, they tried to explain what made the IGP, the reason behind all this. I told, look, a fugitive is a fugitive. There's no other way to describe it. He's running away. We will get it. Today, we are in court against Kufredwa High Court. Another break case. He'll come. If he doesn't come, we'll find a way of getting him through the way we got this Akotia guy. Because these people, they are illegally occupying the city. This, especially Okakui Central. The same thing. The same thing. The same modus operandi they use and got away with this. But unfortunately, they have stepped on a different this landmine. It will blast their leg. We are not going to allow it. We will pursue it till casket. I'm telling you. We will make sure that these people are
the total number of seats is 9.
Yes, we are pursuing Ablekuma. No, other one is even a standby. They are not going to. We won't allow any declaration until the court processes.
They still do not have an.
Yes, we want the right person to be there. Okay. It's better to not have an MP.
And ultimately, the right person is found to be an MP, the MPP woman.
How can she be a right person? She didn't win. She lost massively.
But you said you won the right person.
Oh, I'm saying that these people, they brought fake. If you are a right person, how do you bring fake pink sheets to come and you want them to declare you a winner? If you are right, why are you running from the court? She's a fugitive. She's been running away. You can't get. They don't even sleep in their houses because the bailiffs are always coming. They don't see them.
But the problem with Ablekuma North is also that even the primary material, which is the ballot papers in the ballot box,
Yes.
that one is even destroyed.
You see, per our electoral system, those ballot papers are immaterial.
Okay.
As soon as pink sheets are signed and copies are given to political parties, okay, the ballot papers is become immaterial. It is only when election petition, they are asking for a recount and all that. That's the time only a high court judge can call for a ballot boxes for a recount. That when they are having challenge like overvoting.
Yes.
And then you send it to high court and the matter is being adjudicated. They might want to see the papers themselves, count it to be sure that actually there was overvoting or there was no overvoting. That's an issue. But here we are not talking about that matter. Okay. It's a different thing. That's what I'm saying. These NPP people organize themselves, went and burn the places, burn people. These are their tricks. They have been doing all this. These are their tricks. I'm happy NIB and all. They are investigating that matter. We'll get them. Nobody should come and be talking of witch hunting anywhere. They have been doing this for quite some time now and getting away with it. I want to see they brought fake pin sheets, fake ones. Their own presiding officers came and said, these are fake ones. The returning officer said, you can't do that. You said it. Come and say this one there. I'll give your job to you. Because they were forcing him to do an illegality.
So let's count now. Ablekuma North.
Ablekuma North.
Akotia is also another.
Yeah, Akotia is there.
Okay. Tema Central.
Tema Central is there.
One Sama
Adonjiri is there.
Okaiko Central.
Okaiko Central is there.
And then
you see, Obuasi is there.
Okay.
That one too, we've got another thing. They are running away. We'll get them. Okay. I have for North. Okay. And I have for South West.
Okay.
It's also the Techiman South.
Techiman South.
Yes. We are chasing them.
This is 9 seats.
Yes. Good.
And you're confident that you won all the seats?
I say we'll chase them on it. Our supporters to be rest assured. Our eagle eyes. They think because we are in government now, everything is going to die. We are not even warming up. We are warming up. We are not going to use any Rambo style or anything to this. We'll use the legal process. We'll follow through the legal process and make sure that the right persons are represented in the House. Not illegal people. Look, it's better not to have an MP than have a wrong person sitting there taking decisions for you. That is what we are doing.
If you say it's better not to have an MPP than have the wrong person sitting there.
Yes. Is it not good?
Because if we will recall what happened in the case of the people of Sao.
Yes.
We'll complain about it for the 4 years.
Yes.
We say it is not proper to do that. So why would you deny a constituency of an MP?
We didn't deny. Sao, they didn't even allow them to vote. Did they vote?
Okay.
They didn't decide for any MP. They didn't give them the opportunity to vote. Since December, Madam Jean Mensah constituted herself to a Supreme Court judge and issued a fiat that nobody should vote for parliamentary candidate in those areas. I'm surprised people are not even coming up with issues against that one. We are politicians. When you come, they say witch hunting. We don't want to go that path. Fiat, executive fiat. She had executive powers and stopped them from participating in the elections. This one, nobody stopped them. They voted for their candidate. They voted for the person they wanted to represent them in the House. And yet some crooked people want to deny the rightful person voted for and want another person to go and represent. That's an illegality. That's not the right person.
There are those who are asking me to ask you about Damongo.
Yes, Damongo was a very interesting matter. Unfortunately, we had to drop it because the facts were not adding up the way we wanted it. We said, look, per the Eagle Eye project that we're doing, we needed concrete facts, enough evidence, so that we can attack it well. But the Damongo one was a bit dodgy. We're not too sure of certain things, and so we didn't want to go that path. But nonetheless, we are still looking at some information that we are gathering. We are still within the period of looking at it, but we didn't have the right facts needed. So that's why we didn't pursue that one much and that one. But I know of Panda, that one is properly filed, but I think there was an issue of the Gazette, so they had to refile again on that one. Panda is another issue. So they are pursuing those things. The director is very much aware of it.
Our guest in studio is now acting CEO of GIFEC. But his most recent work as Deputy Director, Elections and IT of the National Democratic Congress. You remain Deputy Director of Elections and IT?
Yes.
Was working at GIFEC?
Yes.
It seems that computers followed you throughout life.
See you.
Anyway, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Ghana, get ready to win big and live large with Mega Cash Lucky Box, the game where you could walk away with instant cash prizes. It's easy to play. Just dial *426*6# on all networks. Follow the prompt, pick a lucky box and reveal your cash prize. It's that simple. Win massive, up to 500,000 Ghana cedis. Don't miss your chance. Players all over Ghana are winning now.
I won!
What are you waiting for? Dial *426*6# or visit www.megacashluckybox.com and play on our web portal. The minimum to play is 5 Ghana cedis. Your lucky box could be holding that big cash prize. Mega Cash Lucky Box. Dial *426*6# and win instant cash today. Don't wait. Remember, terms and conditions apply and is annually approved on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn. You know buff, you know chop. Where it vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You not get one drop safe inside your tanku.
Hey.
Hajia, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selendion. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe. So say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank. By Duraplast.
Hi! Sweetness!
You're bouncing me visa.
Nabani say.
Almost say, mini traveling experience.
Oh, relax. It's the year. Menyo Ruboko Bahamas. Bahamas.
Hey, na medenya visa.
Erko Bahamas. Wanji visa. Yerkaji enenywa.
Wow.
Yababa nenya travel experience. Bahamas. Sisiara. Mr. Tours and Cheap Tickets Limited will organize lovely tourist trip. Aqua Bahamas.
I will, Meko.
Lovely trip to Bahamas, yeah. You know your Accra to Nassau. Wachata flight Numu. Offer 17th April. Kesi 23rd April. Packaging now $5,500. What ticket to a hotel? Your new beach Bahamas. Now your cruise one sooner do Messi. And you by your mom. Love in Bahamas. When to register and sign a 28th March. Call for reservation 0544-733-528. Anna 030-29-500-72. Love in Bahamas. I say, my uncle blow.
Agriculture is essential for any society to feed itself. It plays a vital role in the growth of the economy of any country and its development. This is